What is up, y'all? Welcome to the WAN Show. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you this week. Our main topics of discussion are going to be, what is USB 4 2.0?
I don't even want to know.
That is not how
That's illegal.
version numbering works. And also, LTT has actually completed, okay? It is shot now. We have completed our first major, like, big sponsorship of like an S-tier YouTuber. Yeah,
What?
we do sponsorships for other YouTubers now. So I'm going to be talking about that. What else we got today?
That's wacky. What isn't wacky is Ryzen 7000 and Intel trying to say that ARC is better than NVIDIA at ray tracing. So they have never claimed anything in the past that ended up being skewed. So I'm sure this is purely accurate.
Show is brought to you by Squarespace, VULTR, and Secretlab. All right, I think the first thing we're going to have to dig into this week is, the slightly different format for the show. I'm really hungry, and Belle's hungry, and Luke was indifferent, so we ordered food. So we're going to get through our tech topics a little bit faster, and we're going to save our merch messages for a little bit later in the show. So if you guys haven't picked up a screwdriver or a backpack or an RGB hoodie or short circuit hoodie like the one I'm wearing or anything else that's on the store, and you wanted to order one now and send in a merch message, Belle's going to be curating everything throughout the show, but we're going to get to them later. We're going to push them a little bit further out, which means we are going to jump right into USB 4 2.0. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The USB, USB Forum, USB Promoter Group. They're on a mission. They're on a mission to make me angry because there is no other possible reason that I can imagine for this naming scheme to exist. This is not how versioning works. I like
to think that someone there knows that and is driving for change, but this one time was like, actually, we need this sequence of numbers. And they made it happen.
What?
They wanted 420.
What do you even... Oh my God.
They
well,
did
then
it for
they
the
could have
meme.
just made it version 4.20. And even that would have been stupid because it appears to be a pretty significant upgrade. We're going from 40 gigabit per second to 80 gigabit per second. To be clear, I am not upset about the technology.
It sounds actually like really solid. You do need an active cable for that 80 gigabit per second. Its max on passive is 40 gigabit, but that's still pretty crazy.
It's only USB Type-C, which is what's going to happen. Matter of time. Yeah, matter of time.
Yeah.
I'm so angry. It includes new features, such as a bandwidth boost beyond 20 gigabit per second for USB 3.2 data tunneling when using alt mode, such as DisplayPort mode, and has been updated to feature the latest versions of the DisplayPort standard and PCIe spec, which, remember, is important because USB 4 is now essentially Thunderbolt, which was able to carry PCIe connections. That's how you can hook up an external GPU and stuff like that. It is backwards compatible with previous revisions, including the original USB 4 standard, which has barely even made it to life at this point.
Yeah.
USB 3.2, USB 2.0, and Thunderbolt 3. And our discussion question is, faster is always better. But why do they keep using these confusing naming schemes?
I might have an answer for that. I'm going to have to try to dig it up. Capes in Floatplane chat says that the USB spec naming is meant for developers and not consumers, and that we should refer to Benson Leung's, hopefully I said that right, response in the USB-C hardware subreddit. I legitimately almost said chardware.
Names? Sorry, what? Hold on a second. All right, Benson.
I don't like that, personally. I don't see why developers need a worse naming scheme. I would like to try to find this thread. Can someone post?
I think I've probably got it. USB promoter group announces USB 4 this is great.
That's it.
It has 163 comments and 48 upvotes. That's usually a good sign. The top up oh, this is great. Log into different. No, I don't want to log in. I don't care. Reddit.
I found the post.
Okay.
USB does have branding professionals. Hint, this announcement is about a spec version bump, which is a technical document, not a branding document. Here's what my guess is on the branding will be for gear with the new speed, USB 4 80 gigabit per second.
Why USB 4 2.0? Why not USB 5? Why not USB 4.1? Why not literally anything else? Like there is no continuity whatsoever. We had USB 1. Then we got 1.1. If I recall, there was a 1.1a. Hold on. All the versions of USB. Here we go. Okay, 1.1. Okay, 1.0 apparently was like never really a thing. This is from Triplate though, so I have no idea how accurate this is. Oh my God, just show me the table. Okay, so here we go. Triplite provides this this chart. 1.1, this was full speed USB introduced in 1998. All right, you had your USB A, you had your USB B. That was for your scanner. All right, we had scanners back then. Okay, that was a peripheral. We had our printers, we had our scanners. Combine them, black magic. Not till later. Okay, then we had USB 2. High speed. Who would think, what would you think is faster? High speed or full speed? Help me out here, Luke.
Full speed?
Yeah, I would think so
it's
too.
Maximum, right?
Unfortunately, full speed is like 1/40th the speed of high speed.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Darn.
Came a mere 2 years later. So, yeah, it went a lot faster and that merited, a spec bump. Okay. Then we went from 480 megabit per second. Okay, so we 10x the speed again to 5 gigabit, and that was in 2008, whopping 8 years later. This was USB 3.0, which I think has since been renamed to 3.1 Gen 1 super speed. Okay, then things get really messy. USB 3.1 doubled the speed over USB 3.0 and was originally called USB 3.1. Then it was changed to USB 3.1 Gen 2 Super Speed Plus. Holy f***ing shit. Okay, then we got USB 3.2 Super Speed, which I think is, yes, now called USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2. Oh, no, right. No. These were former names, right? Gen 1. Now it's USB 3.2 Gen 1. Okay, 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, and that's 20 gigabit per second.
I really enjoyed that one. I remember that launch.
Oh, my God.
That was fantastic.
Then we got USB 4, which was also known as USB 4 Gen 2 by 2 or USB 4 20 gigabit. Wait, what? 20 gigabit? I thought... Oh my God. Okay, so USB 4, this is where things get really complicated because USB 4 has optional components to the spec. You don't have to, you can be USB 4 without being 40 gigabit per second. So here we've got USB 4 20 gigabit. Okay, so that came in 2019, does up to 20 gigabit. Then we got USB 4, which is Gen 3 by 2, which does 40 gigabit and might also do like PCIe and stuff, assuming you have a compliant cable. All of this was preventable.
There's some posts actually in response to Techlinked. So Laughing Man or Benson Leung, the person that we're finding comments from and stuff, responded to a Techlinked Twitter post, a tweet, some would say. And there are more comments from him on the Reddit thread. There's a few different comments on Reddit. They're all saying roughly the same thing. Where's the other one? The main thing is what I kind of already said, though. On Twitter, someone responded to Techlinked by saying, Ben Mitchell responded to Techlinked by saying, oh my God, can they just stick to the naming scheme, please, and stop renaming old standards? Benson Leung, also known as Laughing Man, said no, because people, and then in brackets, developers, spec writers, and others, work on these spec documents. These are living standards, and having a sensible version numbering scheme is required. Someone responded to that by saying, this is not a sensible version numbering scheme, which got 23 likes. He responded...
Luke with the play-by-play here. All right,
the likes are interesting. The TechLink post got a bunch of likes. The first response gets 68. Benson responds gets 3.
Someone go up. By the way, can one person go like that 68 one? Thanks. Nice.
Yeah, perfect. Bryce responds gets 23. Benson responds again gets 2. So
okay,
that doesn't mean he's right or anything. It's just
wrong.
People aren't happy about it. He says it absolutely is, in reference to not a sensible version numbering scheme. And he says the USB developers announced the version 1.0 release of the USB 4 spec. In 2019. Sorry, I missed that part.
Right. But
3 years have passed, and a new version is about to be released based on the same USB 4 technologies. It makes sense to go from version 1.0 to 2.0.
But if it's the same USB 4 technologies, then why the actual living is it not just USB 4.1?
Yep. Yep.
You know, like how you did it before.
Yep.
Remember that USB promoter group? Remember when you did that? Remember when USB 3.0 became USB 3.1 because it was based on the same underlying technology but made it go more faster and had some new features? Do you remember that?
I also don't even mind multiple decimal points. Have you seen that in some versioning?
Yeah.
They'll do like major, minor, micro, or whatever.
I'd rather have a letter at that point, personally, DisplayPort style. DisplayPort has made some mistakes, though, if I recall correctly. Oh, no, HDMI's done it. HDMI 1 point something B was like a huge upgrade from... Because really, okay. If it's going to end up facing the consumer, you can't just wash your hands of it and go, well, this is intended for developers. It's not my fault that consumers are confused.
He's saying it won't.
What? Of course it will.
He said
it always does.
He said, I agree. So I'm just making sure that I say his arguments. He's saying that it won't and shouldn't, because there will be official branding, and that official branding is USB 4 80 gigabit per second, or 80 gigabit.
The problem is that that's not what's going to end up being presented.
For sure. Yep.
And meanwhile, you've got the HDMI group actively making it harder to tell what is implemented on a product. You've got the USB group adding ambiguity layers on top of ambiguity layers, okay, with optional parts of the specification and no clear actual line in the sand for what qualifies as USB point number.
So someone just said what I was trying to say better. It's called semantic versioning, and it goes major, minor, patch. I've never minded that personally.
Sure.
Because you could have okay, so let's use Windows, who have not done a good job of this, but let's use Windows. Let's say we're on Windows 15. So you have Windows 15. That's your first number, 15.
Sure.
Dot, and then you have major version releases.
Well, why don't we just use a Windows that used this? Windows 3.1.
Yeah. So major update is the 0.1. And then any little tiny fixes, whatever, they can get slammed under at the very bottom decimal point.
Sure.
No one really cares, but they're there because they matter.
Right.
But the average users aren't going to care. And that's completely fine. That works for... I've never really seen anyone complain about that naming scheme. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's the most marketable, whatever, but it works. It's very functional.
What's marketable is what can be understood from my point of view. It should describe at least okay, you can criticize Intel all day for their opaque processor numbering schemes, especially once you make your way out of the mainline enthusiast SKUs into some of the weird low power stuff or some of the embedded stuff that they do. But at least every digit has mostly, some kind of meaning to it. Like you could, if you had a legend, you could interpret it, right? Whereas USB just has no clear, it just has no clear, like going from 3 to 4 didn't have a speed increase. Okay, it didn't even have an interface change. They're both USB-C. So what was the difference? I mean, I know the difference. There were a lot of technological innovations between USB 3 and USB 4. But then why did you allow this half-ass implementation that wasn't 40 gigabit per second for USB 4? Like I'm struggling here. I'm struggling. As long as it's consistent, I can kind of get behind it. But any other time, it really does feel like
That is kind of the worst.
You are confusing consumers for a reason. Like, you know, when oh man, like you'll see like a GPU maker go from 3-digit numbers to 4-digit numbers when and you particularly see these things happen when they don't have anything particularly innovative to show.
Yeah. There is some people I want to make sure I'm defending Benson Leung right now, because there are some people saying like, oh, they promised or they said that it would be USB 4 80 gigabit per second. They're still saying that, and he's still saying that that's going to be the marketing or branding version. This weird one that I already forgot, USB 4 version 2.0 is theoretically a developer only branding thing. The problem with this is it's not only has it already hit a lot of consumers, but it's going to hit many more and will very likely be a part of the branding of certain products. Because companies are going to start designing, developing, planning these products like now. And they're just not going to get updated. We've seen it happen a ton of times. So
yeah, I'm really frustrated. Let's move on though. That's just enough being angry. Do you want to talk about Japan declaring war on floppy disks? Or
this is actually pretty interesting. Japan declares war on floppy disks. Japan's digital minister Taro Kono has declared war on floppy disks and other retro tech used by the country's bureaucrats. Japan still has roughly 1,900 government procedures that require the use of disks, including floppy disks, CDs,
and this is the
and
best
mini
one.
disks.
Mini disc. What?
I was very surprised to see mini disks on here.
I know, right?
Kind of awesome. The U.S. government had been using floppy disks as recently as 2019 to receive nuclear launch orders from the president. That is awesome.
To be clear, I'm not suggesting, that it's on the internet. Like I'm just saying we could do something a little more robust than floppy disk gets. That's okay. I just want to make that very clear.
Yeah. More than 20,000 typical disks would be needed to replicate an average memory stick storing 32 gigabytes of information. This is pretty epic. You guys did a video fairly recently building like a Windows 98 machine.
We bought it.
Oh, you bought one of those?
There's a vendor online that sells Windows 98 computers for like $1,000.
Yeah. And they have like new manufactured hardware and stuff.
No.
Oh, I thought they did.
No, they might have some, but a lot of it is refurbished.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because there's a lot of it out there and it costs nothing. But what costs is spending the time to validate it and make sure that it's all working and ready for deployment. Because there, as Anthony explained in the video, there are many industries that still rely on extremely old software.
Tons of manufacturing and stuff where like it does, as much as this might annoy some people in like software development and stuff, what they have does enough in a lot of these situations. 300
megahertz, that's millions of cycles a second. Like it's actually fine.
In a lot of very specific situations.
Running a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yep.
And the cost of updating that hardware that it's running is monumental. It could potentially be catastrophic depending on the size of the business. Like, so compared to, updating this giant kind of machine or whatever it is, just going out and buying another Windows 98 computer, even if you are being charged an obscene amount of money for it.
Sure.
makes
It's
business
an
sense.
obscene amount of money for what you're getting, but it's still $1,000, which to individuals is going to seem like a lot. To a company that's churning out millions of dollars worth of product every day, and they need that freaking machine running, isn't going to be a huge expense.
It is amazing how different the calculations for the worthwhileness of a purchase are for a business compared to a consumer. See, I was even talking about, okay, what if you're a smaller business and you just can't afford to update the machinery? That's one way of thinking about it. But then Luke's like, well, what if they're churning out millions of dollars worth of equipment? Well, then they're clearly not starving for money. But let's talk about opportunity cost.
Yeah.
What if they had to turn off that machinery for some period of time in order to perform this maintenance to upgrade it so that it can run Windows Vista or so it can run Windows 10 or whatever the case may be? What is it costing them to have that not running? So it could be literally, it could be hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to turn it off and upgrade it versus what? I just spend $1,000 and I can go get a new Windows 98 computer? It's wild, right? And so as much as it feels counterintuitive for, as an 80s, 90s kid, right? I feel like Japan is like the land of technology.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the brand that Japan has to me, right? The first time that I ever saw a USB thumb drive, it was a friend bringing it back, I believe, from a trip to Japan. Yeah, or the first time I saw a Minidisc, it's Sony. Sony was like the premium, right? Samsung and LG were still like Lucky Gold Star, like cheap crap, right? Nobody respected those brands back then. Like Japan, the land of video games and technology. And so for me to read that the Japanese government is still using CDs, okay, fair enough, I guess. But Minidisc was never even used. I wasn't even aware of it as a medium for anything other than, listening to MP3s off Napster, right? I don't know. That was the only thing I ever knew it to exist for. And
it was also very common
discs
back then for certain, it still is common, but not on the same scale, I would argue, because the internet has connected people very closely. But it was very common back then for certain technologies to actually take off in certain areas. So maybe Minidisc was just used for other stuff in Japan.
It was sick.
It was cool.
Right? Compared to the other things we had at the time, you got to understand, USB thumb drives, not a thing yet. Okay? And even when they were a thing, they weren't necessarily convenient. If you went to a library or something like that, it's not like it would support you plugging in your USB drive. And I'm talking like the library at school. You would have to carry sometimes a floppy diskette with USB drivers on it. And then the USB drive that had your PowerPoint presentation or, some kind of multimedia thing that wouldn't fit on a floppy disk. Even once I had a USB drive, I would often still use floppy disks. Not in small part because my first USB thumb drive was either 8 megabytes or 16 megabytes. It actually didn't have that much more capacity.
People thought it was weird too. Jax in Floatplane chat said Minidisc was much more popular in Japan.
I guess I get it, because the capacity compared to the things we had at the time was massive.
Apparently you can copy rented music in Japan, and that was a big push for Minidiscs.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Japan has all kinds of stuff that I just never even saw or never heard of before.
Yeah.
The kinds of stuff you can get in vending machines over there and stuff. Unfortunately, the one time we went to Japan, we didn't really get a chance to stay.
Very short period of time.
Yeah,
and it was awesome for that really short period of time, but it was awesome. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's hilarious. I guess it's finally time for floppy disks to ride out into the sunset. I shouldn't be that surprised. I remember feeling this exact same emotion. You ever get that where it's like a deja vu kind of feeling, but you don't actually feel like this thing happened before, but you feel like you've experienced this feeling before. The day I found out that one of our major competitors at NCIX still submitted their POs via fax, I'm sitting here going, what, you can't walk into the warehouse and grab a computer? You can't send a fucking email? What What do you mean? Why would you submit them via fax?
That one I genuinely
you
don't
would
understand.
you would actually send your rep an email to say, "Hey, check your fax machine."
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
leaving
one
you
where
voicemail to ask if you've checked your text messages. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I can't fathom it.
It's very weird. It's very, very weird. It does make me a little bit sad, and I know this probably just like makes me old, but I always really liked the physical nature of things.
Sure.
Like there's an Animorphs book. Oof, that might be dating me as well. But there's an Animorphs book where they have these like data cubes.
Sure.
And like even Star Wars has the whatever they're called, the pyramid things that have knowledge in them.
Yep, for sure. Holocrons.
Holocron, yeah. These like physical mediums of information.
Just because I know that doesn't mean Star Wars isn't dead to me. Carry on.
I always thought they were really cool. I thought it was cool. That's one of the reasons why I like physical games as well.
Sure.
I've always really enjoyed physical media. And it is like better, sure, that things are becoming more digital and whatnot, but I do find it more boring. So I think it's like kind of cool in a not good way, I guess, maybe, that some of these things still run on this old hardware and run on these old systems and stuff like that. I think it's kind of neat. But
Chat's super into Animorphs. Okay, which Animorph were you?
which Animorph was I?
Yep. I only remember one of them, so I guess I'll just go with that.
Sure.
I only remember Tobias's name.
Tobias?
I probably read like 40, 50 of them. Like I was super into
It's
Animorphs.
Marco and Tobias. Tobias
Yeah,
was like
Marco's
the bird,
one
right?
whose mom is the I never knew how to pronounce it. Yerks? I don't know how to
Is
pronounce
that the
aliens. Yeah, the slugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was controlled. And
yeah.
wasn't his like brother, or is that Tobias's brother?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't make it that far. I know Marco's mom is like Visser 1 or something like that. And I don't remember any of the other characters. And I only know Marco because you mentioned it.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I don't remember. Hawk? Yeah, I think Tobias
Tobias
turns
is the
into a
hawk,
hawk.
and he's stuck as a hawk. And then I
Yes.
think he gets unstuck later or
He
something.
wanted to be, though, I think.
I don't remember.
I remember something about him having an option to become unstuck, and he was like,
Forget it, I'm a hawk now.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that rings a bell. I think I did
I
make
think
it that
so.
far. People are like, spoilers! Spoilers! Okay. These books came out like 20 years ago. I think we're clean and clear on spoiler warnings.
yeah.
Can't remember the Andalite's name, man. Hold on. Oh, okay, Andalite's name. No, I got nothing. Because like one joins them later or something. And
Yeah.
it's like when that TV show adds that like dumb extra character. Like I don't remember him really serving any purpose other than just be like, oh cool, we have an alien sidekick now.
I think
Axe. That's the one. Nighttime, that was the name. And he was like the son of the one that gave them the powers in the first place or something.
I don't know.
Man. Animorphs, man. I bet my daughters would love Animorphs. I don't know
I
if my
think
son
I
would be
still
that
have
into
a
it.
bunch of the books. I tend to keep my books, but yeah, I think I still have those. Aximili
Esgru. Oh my goodness.
What
Yeah.
a name.
Yeah, I think we'll just call you Axe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably a good idea.
100%. All right. What were we talking about again?
Japan declaring war on floppy disks.
Yeah, physical media, man.
And
Books
how I
are
like physical media.
books are a tough one for me because on the one hand,
They're very unreasonable in the modern day.
they don't make any sense.
Yeah.
But the flip side of it is I've been
do
on vacation
like
this
reading
week.
a book.
I've been on vacation this week and I was like, man, I haven't read a book in forever because it's tough for me. I get sucked in.
Yeah.
And then I'm not functional, right? Like I love to read. It's not that I don't love it. I don't have the discipline for it. It's like Anno for me. It's like I could be sitting there for literally 8 consecutive hours doing nothing but like not even stopping to eat, just like reading, right? And so I was like, oh, I'm on vacation. I'm gonna read a book. And I have Kindle Unlimited, but I just did not gravitate toward the Kindle at all. Not even a tiny bit. I was like, I will go look at my library of dead trees. And I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. I don't
feels
want
good.
to fill my house with books. They're stupid. They're heavy.
Yep.
They take up space. They're
Yep.
hard to find. Obviously, just having one slate where all the words can just appear it's objectively better.
Yep. But it's subjectively
And
not
like,
better.
man, the book I settled on, it's called Mr. Norrell and Jonathan Strange. It was actually given to me by Tyler before he passed.
Oh.
Well, not given, borrowed, lent to me, but I wouldn't obviously.
Two of my favorite books of all time are recommended from him.
Yeah, so that was why I wanted to read it, because it was kind of the last book recommendation he gave me, and I kind of haven't I haven't been able to yet, but I'm about a quarter of the way through, and it's like thick. It's like this thick, right? That's really inconvenient to hold. Like it sucks. It's heavy. It's stupid. But
the experience is good.
Okay, we need to do a float plane poll. Okay, physical books versus digital books.
I'm on it.
Honestly, I think it could be settled for me if digital books were way cheaper. But the fact that physical books, even with shipping, are often cheaper than a digital copy is just outrageous to me, because I don't believe for a second that the author is getting way more royalties.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I do not believe that.
I enjoy audiobooks because we've talked about it for a long time. I have like issues reading scripts and stuff. I'm mildly dyslexic, so I read really slowly and I have a hard time reading.
Sure.
So I enjoy audiobooks and I listen to audiobooks for things that I feel like I need to get through. Like, oh, this book is on a topic. I feel like I should have this information for whatever reason. I want to learn something. I want to grow in some way, whatever. So I'll listen to an audiobook to make sure that I get all of that. But I enjoy reading physical books. So especially if it's like some like fantasy novel or something like that, I'll usually read it physically. It takes me forever, but it doesn't matter. So who cares?
See, even with a tech audience, overwhelmingly, like 67%, 2/3 of float plane chat, physical
There's something
books.
about tactile. It feels good. And that's like putting in a floppy. When's the last time you did it?
The noises. Remember the noises?
It's great.
Yeah, I know.
It is. Like, I don't know.
It's time to play a game. Yeah, like,
you hear
let's
it
go.
spinning up, you strap the headphones on. Like, it's much more of like a full experience.
So are you going to get into vinyl? Because that's what like everyone in the office, you're getting into vinyl.
I'm the first person in the office that got into vinyl. They
I didn't
don't
even
know
that.
that, but I wasn't invited to the Cool Kids Club.
What the heck? Okay, that's one that I can't. The second I learned about the existence of Napster, like the piles of CDs that I owned were okay. I shouldn't say the second I learned about Napster, because it took a little while. Like you would have to. The only way that I could listen to MP3s I downloaded was sitting at the computer, like on our computer speakers, because we didn't even have headphones at our computer. That wasn't a thing yet. So I did continue to use CDs and my Discman for a couple more years. But by the time you could burn a CD of MP3s, I did that a handful of times. But you had to have a compatible CD player. It had to be able to read data discs.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, I got an RCA Lyra, which was a 64 megabyte MP3 player, and that was it. That was the last time I gave two shits about any kind of physical media songs. And then I did pirate music for a long time. And then along came music subscription services. I now happily pay for, actually, I think I have 2 subscription services. I should unsubscribe from Apple Music. But anyway, I happily pay my subscription. I don't pirate any music anymore. Right? Yeah, I have YouTube Music. Yeah. And YouTube Music's cool because if you buy a song on iTunes, you can just take that file and you can just upload it to it. Or Google Play Music had that actually.
Play your local songs.
I don't know if YouTube Music has it
I think it still
anymore.
does.
Does it still do it?
I
Anyway,
think
so all my songs are totally legit now, but I cannot even begin to imagine having like.
I think they're cool. I really enjoy the look of it. I never had them when I was younger. Like my dad had some, but I don't think we actually like had a record player set up. He actually has some really wicked ones, but I don't think we had a record player set up. I have some really cool ones. Like I have the vinyls for Divinity Original Sin 2.
Got it.
I have them signed by like the development team who I met in person and like all this kind of stuff. So it's like really cool. The actual record isn't signed. The like sleeve is signed, to be clear. And I used to use them for like timers basically, because that was the thing that annoyed me the most is they're kind of short. Like they end really quickly, and then you have to go to the thing and flip it or change which one you have or whatever to be able to keep listening to stuff. That's my biggest gripe. But in order to solve that, I would use it as a timer. So I'll be like, oh, I'll clean this area for this long, or I'll work out for this amount of time, or I'll do whatever. Yeah.
Gremlin Injector asks why I prefer those over Spotify. I subscribed to Google Play Music because it
comes with YouTube
Premium, and YouTube Premium matters a lot to me. As for why I prefer it, I hate YouTube Music.
Oh, it's terrible, but it's
Google Play Music was so much better. They dragged me kicking and screaming away from the Google Play Music app because the integration with Sonos was flawless. It was so much better than Spotify's integration with Sonos, than anything's integration with DTS Play. It was as seamless as just pressing cast. I never, for years, I couldn't figure out why anybody ever even opened the Sonos app other than just adding their speakers to their system. I didn't even need the Sonos app anymore. I would just open up the Google Play Music app and I'd go zone, 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 volume sliders, cast. One button to cast it. It's so stupid the way it works in the Spotify app. You have to create different groups in the, this is with DTS Play, actually. I don't know if I've tried the Sonos one. Anyway, it's not as seamless. I need Google and Sonos to bury the hatchet, which I've given up ever happening. But I need them to bury the hatchet and just bring back the Google Play Music Sonos casting experience because it was the best.
I liked Google Play Music a lot. I hate YouTube. I'm not trying to bandwagon, but yeah, it's worse. YouTube Music is way worse. But yeah, it's not worth another entire subscription to me to get Spotify, and there's no way I'm not going to have YouTube Premium because I watch a pretty considerable amount of YouTube and I don't want to watch ads. So yeah, YouTube Premium it is for me.
Yeah, also the family plan for Google Play Music. For YouTube Music, which is stupid branding. Stupid.
So
what
bad.
does music have to do with YouTube? Nothing. Yeah, there are music videos on YouTube. I get it, but
Conrad just said, okay, YouTube Music sucks because if you shuffle a playlist, it shuffles the exact same way every time. It's true.
I know.
Why? Who wants that? No one wants that.
I know.
I can't imagine a single person is like, I'm going to enable this thing that should make things random, but if it changes, I'm upset. There's no way that person exists.
Well,
come on.
I mean,
nope.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they probably do.
You like that
but
about it?
There's no way they're not outnumbered by everyone else who would want it to actually be random.
That's fair.
Oh, it's so annoying. I have that problem literally right now. And I actually tested it a bunch of times. So I was like, there's no way that's how it actually works. So I made a really, really short playlist of, I think it was 4 songs or something, just to check. And yeah, it does the same order. What? Come on.
Yeah. I just want Google Play Music back. That's all I want.
Yeah.
You know what else I want? To talk about our sponsors. The show is brought to you by Squarespace. If you're looking at creating and sharing your own content online, give Squarespace a try. It's the all-in-one platform for building a top-tier website and growing your brand online. You can upload or embed your video library and organize it in one of Squarespace's best-in-class templates to explore the new ways that you can monetize your content. You can both display your social media content and push website content out to your channels. Plus, with member areas, you can unlock a whole new revenue stream for your videos by allowing you to post exclusive content behind either a subscription or a one-time fee. And Squarespace's analytics and insights ensure that you are optimizing your website every step of the way. So go to squarespace.com/WAN to get 10% off today. Luke, what can I do for you?
Someone said there's heaps of people like that. They work on USB specs and naming.
No, because it's not exactly the same. Those guys do shuffle it every time.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know. At this point, I think Microsoft is just taking with Xbox naming. That's pretty clear to me. They are absolutely memeing on us. But I do actually believe that the USB promoter group just unironically has no idea why it's so bad. There's no other explanation at this point. The show is also brought to you by VULTR. VULTR provides high-performance cloud servers, bare metal storage, and managed Kubernetes at a fraction of the cost of big tech. You can deploy instances with your preferred OS through 12 pre-selected operating systems, and there's the ability to bring your own ISO. Their networking features are optimized for multi-cloud deployments thanks to VPC peering and Direct Connect, and with 25 server locations worldwide, you can spin up low-latency infrastructure for your users wherever they are. With VULTR Talon Cloud GPU, you can deploy fractions of NVIDIA A100s, because they're expensive to buy a whole one, to affordably handle even the most advanced workloads. So right now, you can get an exclusive 30-day $150 code for new signups. Just go to getvulture.com/WAN. That's getvultr.com/WAN. Also, the show is brought to you by Secretlab. Secretlab chairs are designed to keep you comfortable for those long nights of work and play. Or if you're on the WAN show, it's kind of a little bit of both. That's right. Ooh, there they are. Hey, the Titan Evo 2022 series offers 4-way lumbar support, thanks Vanna, comes with a magnetic memory foam head pillow, and is offered in different upholsteries like hybrid leatherette, soft weave fabric, and Napa leather. Best of all, a 5-year extended warranty is included along with a 49-day return policy, so you're covered if anything goes wrong. Save up to $250 on select Secretlab chairs during their Black Friday pricing sale at the link down below. Oh, cool. Yeah, you guys are going to want to check that out. Big savings. Sick. Sick! In other sponsorship news, we sponsored... Okay, to be clear, it's not actually unheard of for us to sponsor other YouTubers. We've sponsored UFD Tech.
UFD Tech, I know about that.
Yeah, he did that like cannonball run thing.
I think he's done a few things.
Sponsored that. Yeah, we've done...
Yeah.
I mean,
Great
it's usually when he's doing something that's like, you know, helping raise funds or like...
Yeah,
so we like to chip into that kind of thing. Brett's been an amazing supporter for us over the years.
Yeah.
So we're happy to give something back.
Of course.
We've also worked with Quinn from Snazzy Labs.
Yep.
But no offense to Brett or Quinn, this will be by far the biggest sponsorship that we have ever done.
Okay.
So I won't give too many details. Not going to give too many details. I will say that we wrote a fairly substantial check, more than we've ever written for a sponsorship before. I will say that it is for the screwdriver.
Logan Paul.
It's a...
You're gonna make a blonde cap. I guess I'm wrong. I tried. I shot my shot.
Okay.
Okay, keep going.
Anyway, so it's for the screwdriver, which, as you guys probably know, we just launched in 4 variants. All black, including a black shaft. All black with a silver shaft. Black and orange with a black shaft. And black and orange with a silver shaft. All 4 variants are still available. And that is pretty much all I'm going to say about it. Other than that, we sponsored this person to build a PC with our screwdriver, obviously. And I want to let people guess.
PC at all?
If I told you the theme, you'd know who it was.
Okay.
Here, I'll tell you the theme. Actually, here's what we're going to do. Let's play a little game.
Okay.
Luke is going to guess 5 YouTubers.
Like verbally?
Yeah. Okay. After each one that Luke guesses, I will give some kind of hint. Might be helpful, might be not that helpful, but I will respond in some way to help guide Luke's guesses. Then we're going to put all 5 of Luke's guesses in a poll so that you guys can say who you think it is.
And this is a tech YouTuber.
Right? Well, I don't know. You could guess someone, and then maybe that would be something that I would tell you as a hint.
Okay, Marquez.
Or
MKBHD more specifically. He's hiring on more people. I should refer to the brand.
That's actually that's a good way of thinking about it. Okay, let me come up with something that I could help to guide you. Some way that I could guide you. This person doesn't normally build computers.
Marquez doesn't normally build computers. Okay.
Well, yeah, but you could...
that does help though. That does help.
Exactly.
Jerry rig everything.
Okay. I'll give you.
There's been some collaboration there before.
I'll give you something else. This person is male.
Okay. Okay. So you're giving me something about that person that is accurate. So I might be able to get a country confirmation. So I'm going to say Tom Scott. This was suggested by Floatplane Chat, but I think it's good.
Tom Scott.
Yeah.
Okay. This person has been making videos for over 5 years.
Okay. Darn it. I wanted the country. Good one, though. I respect it. Oh, darn.
For those guessing Mark Rober, no, but we are working with Mark Rober. So that's going to be a fun one.
That's cool. That's cool. Interesting. It could be. I'm like already out. But there's some good suggestions.
Yeah.
There's lots of different suggestions. So I think I'm gonna go with one of them. Where did it go? Adam Savage.
Adam Savage.
He's been making YouTube. Okay, so based on his face, that was wrong. But
No. I had already read it in the chat. I'm just
Okay,
interacting. I'm being an active listener.
yeah.
What I'm really trying to think of is like what I can say.
Yeah.
This person, I would say, is pretty physically adept.
That brings me back to Marquez.
No, it's not Dennis. I would never sponsor Dennis. I'm too angry with Dennis.
I need help.
I will be fighting Dennis, literally.
When is that happening, by the way?
I don't know.
Oh,
Not sure. I'll be ready no matter what, though.
I want to like shoutcast it.
I'm not even worried.
Oh, guys. I think earlier he let it slip that it was someone in tech. Oh, that could be it. That's interesting. Is he though? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of. Oh,
come on, Luke.
Hacksmith?
All right, that's your 5.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. I put those in the doc. I don't know how the polling system works. Do you mind throwing that?
Oh, you want those in a poll?
Yeah. So we're gonna let you guys guess.
It's really easy. By the way, it's like.
Actually, okay. Do we want to add any more? Because there are some that people suggested a lot.
Sure.
Okay, I saw Unbox Therapy in there a lot of times.
Yep.
I saw Electro
Mr.
Boom.
Who's the Boss.
Mr. Who's the Boss? Okay.
Who is the?
So we'll add a few more for you guys. We'll add a few more for you guys that actually do meet the criteria. Like obviously, Gamers Nexus, like not gonna be it. Like they do build computers.
Yeah.
Sort of actually. Do they build computers? Not really. They build test benches. Anyway.
That's a computer.
Yeah, sure. That's a computer. All right. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. No, DIY Perks builds computers all the time. Come on, guys. That's like DIY Perks' thing. Is he builds weird computers.
Every single time I watch a video by him, I'm like, this has got to be the end. There's no way he thinks of something
I know
more crazy than this. And then every single time he releases another video. And I'm like, how do you do this? He released one on a lens recently that is just amazing.
Yep.
Like he made his own. Oh, man. Just what a wild.
Guy's wild.
What a wild guy.
Okay. So let's go with that list. Here's what I'll say. The correct answer
is in the list or not in the list? Can you do that?
Should I not? Let's see.
Don't like.
Let's have some fun with you guys.
Don't like, you know.
Oh, here's actually. Oh, here's a good one. Okay. Now that I have this particular list, I think I'm comfortable saying. Actually, I'm going to add this. Okay, there. You got all of those? Are we able to do a poll with that many options?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, it's currently letting me. So
okay, hold on, one more. Okay.
Okay, I saw the one suggested too. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. We've got, I think, the main ones that people were suggesting.
Yeah.
And I think oh, wait, no, one more. Let's put this in there.
Oh, very cool.
Okay. The correct answer is in the list.
Okay.
I will say that.
Yeah.
So guys, the poll's going up. Are you ready to post the poll?
Yep.
So I want to know who you guys think we sponsored to do a build with the LTT screwdriver.
Just wanted to make sure we got the spelling or something right, but we did. It's posting now.
Okay, here it comes. The options are in no particular order. Or let's go with the order that, sure, no particular order. Jerry Rig Everything, Adam Savage, iJustine, Slow-Mo Guys, Smarter Everyday, Henry Cavill, MKBHD, Tom Scott, Hacksmith, Unbox Therapy. So, I'm going to let you guys vote for a little bit. Why don't we talk through Ryzen 7000? The big news this week, obviously, in the tech space is Ryzen 7000. AMD dropped absolute knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb about their upcoming plans. The Ryzen 9 7950X is actually getting a price drop, or rather you could consider it a price correction compared to 5000 series. It's still 16 cores, 32 threads, but can hit a whopping 230 watts when needed and can turbo up to 5.7 gigahertz. 5.7, 80 megs of cache on board, and is rated to run with DDR5 5200 memory. However, AMD has already come out and said that their new Expo, Extended Profiles for Overclocking, DDR5 memory kits will be available, and the sweet spot for Ryzen 7000 is going to be 6,000 megatransfers per second. There's some discussion questions in here from whoever prepared this topic for us. The 7950X being $100 cheaper than last gen, could that mean that they're reserving the $800 slot for an X3D part? That is possible, although I wouldn't expect it to come anytime soon. The 7700X is $100 more than last gen, but that part came out over a year into the rollout, so that kind of makes sense. So it could be that the 7700X is actually the 5800X replacement. It's 8 cores, 16 threads, maximum boost of 5.4 gigahertz. I love these boost clocks. Holy crap, are we ever getting close?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, AMD, Ryzen, it's not a bad thing, but Ryzen generation after generation has been kind of an overclocking dud as far as like overclocking on an air cooler or an ambient water cooler. Obviously, the liquid nitrogen folks are doing what they do with it, right? But for the mere mortals among us, it doesn't really overclock much, which is another way of saying that AMD has really optimized it to run at the maximum attainable speed for consumers out of the box.
Yeah.
But they are getting like shockingly close to that 6 gigahertz barrier. That's
which, just
impressive.
like other topics we've had today, is boring, but good.
AMD claims that the 7950X, their top tier chip, is 11% faster overall in gaming compared to the 12900K, and that even the Ryzen 5 7600X, which is $300, beats the 12900K in gaming, while also costing a lot less. How competitive will Ryzen 7000 be with Raptor Lake, asks our discussion question, especially because Raptor Lake is rumored to be more expensive than Alder Lake 12th gen. Wow. Canadian retailers listing 13th gen Intel Core processors with prices 15 to 19% higher than Alder Lake counterparts. With that said, I know from my experience in retail that sometimes what we would do is we would put in placeholder prices before we actually got formal pricing that was just definitely higher than what it would be. So that way we could have the listings up, we could prepare our pages and everything. Almost nobody would actually order at those prices and the product's not even out yet. It's not shipping or anything. But what it would mean is that you could get everything prepared and you definitely wouldn't lose money if people ordered it early. So it could be that this is not actually that meaningful. Either way, it could be. It could mean that the competition between Raptor Lake and Ryzen 7000 is going to be a little tighter than the initial rumors might have indicated. I'm excited. We forgot to type in Mr. Who's the Boss. Oh,
yeah,
well.
that's my bad.
Well, I guess we've ruled out. Oh, Stu is the boss. Sorry.
What do you think the sweet spot is? What do you think the mover is going to be?
Oh, I think it's absolutely going to be 7700X.
Yeah.
At $400 for 8-core, 16-thread, 5.4 gigahertz boost, especially because like precision boost, whatever AMD calls it, their boost technology is so good that I would actually expect this, if you provide ample cooling, to exceed that in some cases. Like I with just a tiny little bit of adjustment, I just don't see how you're going to get any kind of meaningful performance uplift in games going to a 7900X or 7950X. Of course, I am totally excited to be proven wrong. I'd love to see, massively multi-threaded games come, and I'd love to see just like absolutely like runaway frame rates. But I don't foresee it happening at a time when the current generation consoles all have 8-core CPUs. I just don't think it's realistic.
Speaking of which,
well, the real ones. Sorry, Nintendo.
Guess what I played a little bit recently and actually had some fun with?
Guitar.
Star Citizen.
No way.
Yep.
I would have actually thought guitar was more likely than that. Yeah.
Yeah. It only had one extremely major bug that ruined everything. Only one. That's genuinely statistically not bad as far as Star Citizen is gone.
Hey, what happened to the poll? Can I find expired polls?
Oh, did someone close it?
I don't see it anymore.
We can find expired polls. There is a feature for that.
Okay, can you do it if I just share your screen? Because I want to see
It's going to take me a second.
Oh, okay.
Huh? Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Do that.
Yeah, for sure. Won't do that. All right, cool. So we'll have a look at the poll results. AM5 motherboards, the high-end X670 and X670E will be available at launch, while B650E and B650 will arrive in October. This is a good question. It's not going to come down to just performance. If Ryzen 7000 and Raptor Lake trade blows, but AMD has committed to support AM5 through at least 2025, which is better than Intel typically does, why would anyone choose Intel? It's a good question. I would really like to see Intel stick to their sockets for a little bit longer. To be clear, AMD's track record here, not perfect. I personally invested much money into their STRX 40 platform, which they said was going to get future Threadripper processors, which as of yet have not materialized. Zen 4 is launching on AM5, and I don't even have a Zen 3 option for my editing stations yet. Paid for many of those. So let's be clear. AMD's track record, not perfect. We got one generation of chips. That was it. But they are saying that they're going to go till 2025, and Intel typically does only 2 cycles. So 13th gen is going to be the end of LGA 1700 theoretically, which will support 12th and 13th gen, which has been a strong argument against Ryzen 5000 right now because the 12th gen platform has had some room to grow, while to my knowledge, they still haven't confirmed any kind of Zen 4 anything for socket AM4, although I think they acknowledge that it could be a possibility. AMP323, yes, 5000 Threadripper Pro is out now. It doesn't fit in an STRX 40 socket. Fat lot of good that does me. I didn't want Threadripper Pro. I wanted Threadripper for my STRX 40 socket.
I'm whatever, by the way.
Right, so in the current battle, 12th gen versus Ryzen 5000, 12th gen is the smart play. All other things being equal, wouldn't you rather have an upgrade path if AM4 is dead end? So the same thing's going to happen again, where Raptor Lake is going to be the end of LGA 1700 probably, if Intel's pattern is anything to go on, while AM5 could have 1, 2, maybe 3 upgrades still. Ooh. Now that's not to say that you'll get the absolute most out of those future chips on this older platform motherboard, but that's another thing AMD has done a pretty darn good job of, is maintaining that performance across multiple platforms. Okay, you got it?
Yep.
Let's have a look at the results. I can't see them.
Oh.
All right. Leading the pack.
It's actually surprisingly flat.
Actually,
no one has more than 15%, and it's Henry Cavill. Cavill?
I think.
14%.
Okay, Henry Cavill at 14%.
But like Adam Savage is 1% behind. J-Rig Everything is 1% behind him,
Yeah.
tied with Smarter Every Day. Like it's very close.
I guess what you guys are trying to say is that there's a lot of potential collabs out there that you think make a lot of sense.
There's a collab that is trying to happen right now.
Oh?
That I've tabled it to James.
You don't mean Project Farm, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Someone reached out to me. I've tabled it to James.
Project Farm's review of the screwdriver, by the way, going up Sunday, apparently. I'm stressed, but I'm excited. Okay, what's this other collab? Hit me.
Do you want to know who it is?
Sure, yeah.
What if you decide not to do it? Would that be weird?
I don't know. There's 1,000 reasons that a collab might not work out. So given that I'm not committed to it in any way at all, then I guess you can go ahead and tell me.
Okay. Despite me reaching out before and getting ghosted, I have now been reached out by Glarses, who's, as much as I'm salty about that, a fantastic YouTuber who makes fantastic content about keyboards. And he wants to make, with you, he wants to come out here, a socks and sandals keyboard.
What the heck is a socks and sandals keyboard?
I don't know, but the ingenuity of this man is high, and I expect great things. He's made a triple keyboard before, which is literally just 3 keyboards beside each other. He made a custom 400% keyboard, which is not actually like additional keys, which you might think. It's just extremely, extremely large. He's done many, many amazing things. And I think it could be really funny.
All right. You know what? I'm down.
But yeah, that's a potential collab.
I'm down. Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm into it. I don't know what form it'll take or when it'll happen, but I'm interested in it.
I kind of want to troll him.
I mean, I still
And
owe
I have a
Spiffing
plan.
Brit a T-powered computer, so
You
clearly I'm a little
do.
behind
Yes.
on collabs right now, but
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Chat's pretty into it.
I will say, as much as you do need to do that T-powered computer, I think this one's a little easier. I think he's going to fly here with the things that you need, and then you just like build it with him.
Oh, wow. That's really easy. Hashtag lie.
I think that's what's going on. I'll have to follow up again to figure out more details, but yeah.
Okay. There was one last thing for Ryzen 7000, by the way. PCIe Gen 5 and PCIe 5.0 SSDs will come to market in October. I think that we've kind of reached the practical limit of PCIe SSD speeds mattering for consumers for the next few years. Yeah.
But that's good.
Especially because there are other bottlenecks that are going to be concerns long before that kind of massive sequential throughput is going to be a problem.
Still good though.
Oh, is my bleep not working?
You want that level of component to be ahead.
That's fair. That's fair because new hardware will come and you want your old platform to be ready for it.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than going back to an old system, like I don't know, let's say Intel 2000, 3000 series and going, yeah, this is still totally fast enough for what I need to. Oh my God, it has like 2 USB 3 ports. Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Gigabit Ethernet is what we're going to think about anything older than like a couple years ago.
Yep.
Like, really? Gigabit? I'm trying to transfer a freaking file here.
Yeah.
Come on.
For real though.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh man, do we want to talk about this Intel Arc thing? Oh, wait. Luke, do you want to guess which one you think it is? I'm not gonna say it publicly. I'm gonna wait for you guys to find out. It was on the list, but do you want to guess? You can just point your mouse pointer at it and I'll say yes or no.
Originally, it was this.
Yeah, okay.
That was my first one. By the end of it, I was thinking this. Before chat voted.
It's
Before
neither.
chat voted. Okay.
It's neither.
Yeah, I won't react. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, that.
I have things to say about that regarding my guess, but I will say nothing for now. I'll wait till after the show.
Yeah. There are definitely things that you might say.
Yeah.
Okay, Intel says Arc is as good or better than NVIDIA at ray tracing. Okay, so here's the thing about ray tracing, is that it only really matters if your rasterization performance is also good. We've seen GPUs that just had ray tracing hardware on them, but simply weren't powerful enough for that to matter because you weren't going to be gaming at a reasonable level of visual fidelity anyway. So Tom Peterson told PC Gamer, the RTU, or ray tracing unit that we have, is particularly well suited for delivering real ray tracing performance. And you'll see that when you do ray tracing on comparisons with an RTX 3060 versus an A750 or A7700. We should fare very, very well. The Intel Graphics YouTube channel released a ray tracing technology deep dive yesterday, where they showed some actual software, everything from benchmarks to real games running on their ARC hardware. So let's go ahead and skip to some of the timestamps that matter. Actually, Luke, do you want to give me some timestamps here?
At 18 seconds, there's Ghostwire Tokyo running on an A770 with ray tracing.
Here we go. Wow, thank you, YouTube compression. This looks like absolute horse, so that's cool.
One of the problems with any visual stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, what am I even running at here? Oh, cool. Auto 360p because I'm not on a 10 gigabit internet connection.
I had a Twitch clip. I don't really watch Twitch, but it was a clip. I had a Twitch clip that was shared to me the other day, and I was like, wow, this looks horrible. I figured out it had auto to 144. And I was like, I'm amazed.
Tell me you don't care about VOD and the VOD experience without telling me you don't care about the VOD experience.
Yeah. At 1046, it shows 3D Mark DirectX ray tracing featured test on the A770 versus a 3060. At 1445, it shows an Intel Spheres demo. There's some cool stuff.
Yeah, so you can check that out. But here's our discussion question, and this is sort of a big one. If this card were released today, okay, amidst the pricing apocalypse in the GPU market, right?
Yeah.
So let's head over to Newegg. If these cards were released today, with all the warts that they have, like, I mean, even aside from the issues that Intel has acknowledged with things like DirectX 9 performance, right? We've encountered other problems like emulators. These are small community projects. They don't have giant teams of developers. They don't have billion-dollar companies behind them, right? My experience running emulators on Intel graphics hardware has been awful. And emulation is a huge part of why PC gaming, why a device like the Steam Deck is so great, because you can play literally every game ever. Not literally, but you guys understand what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So knowing that there are going to be caveats in a world where an RTX 3060 is slashed all the way down to $380 brand new. Okay, that was the lowest one that I saw. We're going to head over to eBay. Okay, these are current gen cards. We're not even talking last gen cards that can achieve equivalent-ish performance. So let's have a look at our sold. No, not condition. Come on. Sold items. Yeah, here we go. Why are people paying like new pricing for, oh, that's a TI. Okay. Here's a 3060 for $308. Here's a 3060 for $250. $300, $300, $290. So these are going for as little as $250 to just around $300 at this point. What price would Intel need to come in at for you to consider an Arc Alchemist GPU? What would it take? Like, unless it's okay. No, I'm gonna let you go first. Actually, we should poll again. Let's poll. Okay. So I want to see like 200 to 250, 250 to 300, 300 to 350. Because I don't think anything above that is reasonable. I mean, you can put in 350 to 400. I guess we might as well just have it there, right?
Okay, I'm working on the poll.
Okay, Luke's working on the poll. Well, maybe I should. I wish I. Okay, am I just an idiot and I can't find the poll tool? Like, I don't see how to do it.
I think so.
Okay, where's the button? Smart
it's
guy.
Really straight. Oh, it's not in the chat window. That's why you can't find it.
Ah.
Yeah. It's just barely to the bottom right of the player.
Well, there it is. Look at that. Yep. And you just make a poll like that.
And now that you know that, when the new player launches, it's probably gonna move.
Cool.
So.
And the new player's launching like imminently.
Pretty darn soon.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Thanks, Luke. That's really helpful.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, I want to hear what you say.
What's your reasonable
Yeah,
price range?
what's the Arc Alchemist price range for the, because remember, this is, so we're talking A770, okay? A770, that's the one that they're positioning against the 3060.
What's the price range that would get you to buy?
Yeah.
What's the maximum price range that you would buy at?
I think you're overthinking it.
There was too many characters in the title. I had to redo it.
I see. What's your price? Choose your price, Denis.
For me,
Flawless victory.
it's like, it's tough because at different times I would have said different things, because right now I use my computer for work a lot. So there isn't one.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm not willing. I need something very stable.
Got it. Okay.
Because if I can't get my computer working,
no, I'm gonna flip this around on you. I'm not gonna let you hide behind the for work.
Wait.
So cop out answer.
Wait. I'm not done.
All right.
I'm not done.
Okay. All right.
At other times in
I
my
thought he was
life,
gonna cop out.
that
looked like a cop out.
I can understand.
It looked and it smelled like a cop out.
For sure. I would also say though, at other times in my life, I really like this type of stuff.
Oh, so you would just get the newcomer just to like...
Very likely.
Try
I would
it.
want to see what's going on. I would want to try the different emulators, see which ones broke, figure out why, see what those emulators were doing about it, figure out what the problems were,
Sure.
try different games. That would be very exciting and enticing for me. So
Okay.
I'd probably say the 300 to 350 range, because I wouldn't want it to be more expensive,
Sure.
but
That's
I would
fair.
be willing to take the risk, if that makes sense.
All right. I'm going to throw one more scenario at you, though. What if it was today and you
Okay.
were you now,
Okay.
but it wasn't for work? This is purely for a gaming rig. Because, and before you answer, I want you to consider the challenge that we had, that we undertook recently, where we switched to daily driving Linux.
I wanted to do this with these cards.
So the social,
I think I mentioned that.
the social aspect
Yeah.
of gaming
Yeah.
is like a huge part of it. And that was a big part of what I felt like you and I both missed out on during the Linux
That
challenge.
was a struggle.
Is that even though we were able to get a lot of games running, sometimes with a fair bit of work, if you can't play what everyone else is playing, it doesn't matter how well it performs. It just doesn't matter, because you are not able to have that social experience. And-
Conrad said if it's cheaper than $600, I'm not buying it. I don't buy anything that's not expensive because it makes me feel...
Oh, shut up,
it's
Conrad.
worse.
You're just trolling. You're
He
trolling.
wears Yeezys. I don't know if that's serious or not.
Well, at any rate,
He's kind of a baller.
here's the poll results. Oh, sorry. Here's the poll results.
Okay, I think he's joking.
The winning result is $200 to $250 over on Floatplane,
Yeah, because everyone wants it to be as cheap as possible.
getting 46% of the vote. Although a massive 36% of you are saying 250 to 300 is also fine, with 13% of you saying 300 to 350. So actually, you're in the 13%, Luke,
Yeah.
who are saying like, yeah, it just needs to be competitive. It doesn't actually need to be
I find it very
cheaper.
interesting. I think it would also change depending on what card I currently have.
Mhm.
If I had a card that was, it could still do it with
Yeah.
modern games, then I just wouldn't get rid of my current card right away.
Right, because then you could always bail.
Yeah. But if I had a card that was like, it died or something, I might be less willing.
Yeah, like you, it would depend on my life stage, because there were definitely times in my life that I didn't have enough capital to like have
Totally.
a spare GPU.
Yeah.
Like I would immediately be flipping that.
You'd have to
Flip,
be
flip,
able
flip.
to afford the next one 100%. Yeah. So it depends on a lot of things, but there's definitely price ranges and scenarios here where I'm down 100%. I'm very intrigued by these GPUs. I think I even mentioned like us doing a challenge where we have to run it when it was announced or something like that. It was a long time ago. I don't remember if I did or not. But it's very interesting to me. I've always really wanted Intel to succeed with this because I want another player in the space.
Luke can confirm that I didn't change the formatting of the
What?
person that I pointed to, who was the person that was sponsored.
What? No.
All I did was move the cursor next to it.
Yeah.
The formatting is different for different people because just the document is,
Oh,
and I just didn't bother
I
changing
mean, it's
them.
just different for the top one because it
Yeah.
was the first one that was typed in, so it still had the like header.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
So
he
don't read too much into it,
didn't
guys.
change it.
All right, let's go ahead and where's our food at?
And he didn't point at it by like changing the font. That's extremely unnecessary if you ever used Google Docs before. He just put his cursor there.
For the food, I think he went home for a bit. I looked on the map. He was he's almost here.
Okay.
After I
cool.
messaged him saying, "Hello, are you coming?" I saw his car turn around and start going back towards us. So, it might be cold nanos with the lads, but we'll find out.
Yeah,
I mean,
cold chicken and warm coleslaw.
I was gonna say, how long has it been? Because like cooked chicken.
Yeah, it's been long enough that Uber Eats is like, "We're so sorry." So
Okay.
Yeah, right. But like, is it like okay? Because it's cooked chicken.
Yeah, it has not been that long.
Okay. I mean, it's only like 2 hours.
Do I get like a partial like refund or like how does this work?
I do believe so.
It's been a very, very long time. Okay, cool.
Like an hour and a half
Yeah.
or something?
For those of you who haven't got any merch messages in yet, we are going to be responding to the curated ones from Bell in a little bit. We're waiting for our food, so we wanted to get through all our topics. I just thought the food was going to be here a little sooner. We're getting some chicken.
Cold Nando's with the lads. I like it a lot.
Hey, you know what's cool? I
Yeah.
get to cover a controversy that's not my own for a change.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Let's go!
Yeah!
We did it.
dbrand is
Oh.
facing backlash after
Oh.
posting a production update for their Steam Deck accessory kit, Project Killswitch. The notes
Cool
were
name.
prepared by Riley, so if there's anything wrong in here, then I blame Riley. On Thursday, dbrand posted an update, source 2, original update from dbrand. Here we go, and this is in r/Steam Deck. It'll load eventually. I promise. We actually do have fast internet here because we care about people's productivity and mental well-being. Man, loading just bothers me so much more now than it used to. The social team posted an amazing meme that was like, my game is taking an hour to download. And then yes, I will listen to this MP3 after a night of restful slumber. Like I just my mentality
No, it was good.
has totally changed about it. I thought that was hilarious.
It still doesn't bug me that much. I like having fast internet, but like I'm not willing to fork out the funds for gigabit right now.
So they posted this update talking about the release date, talking about some different stoofs, how the reservation was going to work, some different scenarios,
Go
and
look at this.
kind of some stuff like that. Price elasticity of demand, percentage of customers willing to pay at I don't even know what any of that is. So cool. Anyway, they posted an update. They said that they would launch September 28th in the form of an essential kit at $59.95 and a travel kit at $74.95.
Well, the update number 4 says September 25th.
Well, sure. Users immediately noticed the absence of any mention of the tempered glass screen protector, which many thought would be bundled with every other component in one kit, since it was listed along with the other components on dbrand's website, source 3, which I won't bother clicking right now. This led to anger that dbrand was ripping people off by removing an item from the bundle after promising it would be included. Some users criticized dbrand for charging extra for basic components. In an official response posted under an hour ago, dbrand explains that they initially announced Project Killswitch as an umbrella term to encompass their suite of Steam Deck accessories. In fairness, I did not know that. I thought it was just the case. So I apparently was not even among their audience one of the two camps in terms of how they interpreted that. Camp A assumed all 6 items would be included as a single product purchased at 1 MSRP, so case, kickstand, travel cover, skin for the case, screen protector, and stick grips, while Camp B assumed
Do you want to see it?
all 6 items were standalone products.
Here's the source.
Okay, got it. Complicating things is the fact that the screen protector launched 6 months ago and was purchased by, dbrand says, the majority of Killswitch reservation holders who paid a $3 reservation fee, which was subtracted from the price of purchase. The way dbrand sees it, including everything in one bundle, what Camp A wants, would saddle 68% of reservation holders with a duplicate product. So they split it into 2 kits and keep the screen protector as a standalone purchase. However, There's also the fact that prior to update number 4, dbrand reservation holders received an email with a survey asking what price they'd be willing to pay for a kit. dbrand included this data at the bottom of the Reddit post. Okay, that's what we were looking at. So users are accusing dbrand of making this decision after finding out that they could make more money by splitting the products up in this way. Huh. Okay.
Is there like a pre-order, an image of the pre-order page?
Well, it wasn't really a pre-order.
So people couldn't have
'cause
purchased it
They
yet.
hadn't announced pricing.
So no one put their money down.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, so does it matter?
I don't know.
I don't really get it. Okay, so the original picture, let's see. Not the update number 4, not that, but the picture. Screenshot of Killswitch listing tempered glass as a component. This I could definitely see being interpreted in different ways. Because this says can I zoom in? Yeah. So there's a project components thing at the bottom. I'll make this really big and then share my screen so that people can see what I'm talking about. So this is at the bottom. Project components: impact resistant grip case, magnetic kickstand, skins, tempered glass, travel cover, stick grips. But it doesn't say I don't know. It could be a line of products. It could be one package of products. It doesn't say any of that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Also, there's no pricing, so what does it even matter if it's included or not? If they made the tempered glass thing, you can just buy it, right?
you can buy it now. I
Yeah,
believe,
so I don't get it. If they never announce the pricing, what does it actually change? So just add one of the bundles to your cart and then also add the tempered glass to your cart.
Okay.
People, including I, put $3 down for Project Killswitch. What does that even mean?
Well, that's to like reserve, like basically it's to indicate interest in a way that dbrand can actually kind of count on. Like I wish that when we had taken Screwdriver or Backpack interest levels that we had taken like some token amount of money, because it's a much larger commitment.
Do you make that refundable?
So the way it works is when you place your order, it's included or something like that. And it's a fairly negligible amount, like it's $3. So I think for them, they saw that as justifiable. Now that we've done things the way that we've done them, I don't know that we'll change it just because it's kind of working for us and everyone has their own way of doing things. But it's definitely something that I'd want to reevaluate next time we have like a sign up for notification. Do we want to take some kind of deposit? Do we not want to take a deposit? We had a lot of people say we should have taken a deposit, kind of like Valve's done with the Steam Deck.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll think about it. I don't know. For me, the most interesting part of all of this is the way that dbrand can pivot between being antagonistic towards their customers and the absolute royal crown king and queen of trolling the entire world and being like meticulous and professional in their communication, but all without not being them. This is probably the funniest line in this whole response. Replying to this Reddit post, can you attach the travel cover when the deck doesn't have the Killswitch case on? Does the deck fit in the Valve supplied case with the travel cover on? By their understanding, the travel cover is a truly standalone component usable without a case. At least 12 other users seem to agree with their understanding. At no point did we suggest this was a possibility. This user is simply mistaken. While it is fair to hold us to a higher standard of consumer education on interoperability, the reality is that we have almost 11 years of data to support the notion that this type of misunderstanding is unavoidable at scale. They just basically called people idiots, but in the most professional way that I think I have ever seen.
This is the first time I've seen any of this stuff, but there's no reason to me why.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I don't
it even
know.
say it's a magnetic kickstand? I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't know. I'm over it.
If you can't refund, it's a pre-order. Don't go back on your word. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess if people didn't know what they were buying, then dbrand's biggest sin here is just not figuring out
communicating
the
very
plan.
clearly. It is
ahead of
very
time.
unclear. I will say that much.
Sure.
When you go to the project page, it says like we're doing this project. We're looking for interest. Whatever. Reserve yours for $3. The project includes all of these things. My base assumption would be that I'm buying this thing that costs this much. Or not that costs as much. I actually have no idea how much it costs, so there's no way in hell I would ever do this. Because why would I reserve something that I have no idea what the price for it is? But
Yeah.
I mean that's other people's thing. You can do whatever you want. But I would assume that it's one package that has all of this. But again, if it's all possible for sale and they didn't say how much it cost,
Yeah.
then who cares? I don't know. I don't really get it. I don't think this matters. But I also just learned about it now and don't really understand everything that's going on. So, sounds good.
Trostaft asks, I wish Floatplane took up more of the screen when not full screened. Thankfully, picture-in-picture is there. The new player, is it going to have
new
like a theater mode style thing?
Player has a theater mode.
Cool. Coming very soon. Coming
The
soon.
mythical new player.
All right. The chicken's here. The chicken's here. We got some chicken. That means I think it's time to do some merch messages and go off the rails a little bit here. So here, we're trying something new this week. We've had some people saying they don't like merch messages like clogging up the tech discussion. So we're doing all the tech discussion front loaded. So if you don't like, the Q&A stuff and all that goodness, then see you later.
Yeah.
And we're hungry, so we're gonna have some dinner. Hey, thanks, Bell.
Thank you.
You rock, man. You didn't by any chance happen to get your hands on like a thingamahickey for putting in the thing, did you?
A thingamahickey.
What a guy. What a guy. He's got the forks. He's got the sauce. What's the sauce for?
You don't like shake it? You just mix it with a fork?
Well, I don't know. I told you, I've never had Nando's before.
I don't know what the sauce is for.
That
Is
is
it
some
cold?
that is some lukewarm chicken.
Oh boy.
That is lukewarm AF.
We both get one of these? I thought we got
Yeah.
different things.
I don't know. No, we both ordered the same thing. That's why I was
No.
trolling you.
No, but like what do you call it? The base? The base?
Oh, the basting.
Okay, so that's just for the chicken.
So I got
guess. This
medium.
this is whatever goes on the salad.
Yeah, on the salad.
I think.
There's a
Or
salad.
whatever. I don't know what this is.
I don't even know what's happening.
Ah!
I don't even know what's happening. Wait, did this order literally take an hour and a half to arrive and didn't come with
Didn't
forks?
come with forks.
Wow. This is amazing. All right. Bon appetit, everyone.
Do you have to say that you need forks?
Belle, while you get settled in, I'm just going to get a couple merch messages going here.
Okay.
Oh, man, there's a lot of curated ones tonight. All right, cool. Caleb asks, what's the longest road trip you've ever taken? Currently on a 10-hour drive. Thanks for the infotainment.
I don't actually know which one is technically longer.
That's what she said.
But I've road tripped to Winnipeg and I've road tripped to Arizona. I feel like Arizona's
I think
longer.
Arizona's quite a bit farther.
Pretty sure. I've never mapped it.
Oh, crap.
And Canada's big.
Oh, crap. I just threw rice all over myself. This is not good. Is it you mix it like that?
That's what I've done before. Well, I haven't had this container.
Hey, there's rice everywhere.
Because if I get a bowl, I usually shake it up.
Thanks
to
for
mix
nothing,
it.
Luke.
I'm sorry.
The longest road trip I've ever been on
Should I try it now? I almost don't want to if it just sprayed everywhere.
was to Halifax.
I'm just gonna do it with a fork.
So I drove across the
that's
country
long.
when I learned to drive.
Whoa.
So the day I got my learner's permit, right? So I was 16 years old exactly. The day I got my learner's permit, I took my knowledge test. That's it. It's purely a knowledge test. And I walked out to the parking lot all excited. And my mom was like, what the are you doing? That's the passenger seat. You drive now. And I was like, okay. This is a manual car.
You had no training on manual yet?
No. So she's like, well, no time like the present. So I drove out of I wouldn't call it a city, like it's Maple Ridge, like it's not, but I drove out of the ICBC licensing
kind of
office
is
in Maple
now.
Ridge, home, stick, which was interesting. Then we packed and we left because my birthday is in the late summer and we needed to be back for school to start. So this was a trip. We were back for school and we left on either my birthday or the day after or something like that. That was a long way. There's a lot of being in a car with two people.
Yeah.
It was good though. It was very memorable. It was one of the most memorable things I've done in my life. Definitely worth it.
Cool.
Next question here is from NCC1702. Linus, your existential dread about LMG and your legacy has inspired me to change how I train people. That is irrelevant, but would you ever have LTT-themed framework accessories, whether it's the shell or other parts of or components?
The training thing is kind of ominous. I wonder if that's a good thing or not.
Well, I think it is a good thing. I think that we should always try to... It depends what the goal is, right? So if my goal is to build something that provides information to consumers long after I'm dead, then I should be preparing for me to be dead as soon as possible, right? But if my goal is to run a company, well, then obviously I don't really give two hoots about what happens to it when I'm dead because my goal is just to run a company, right? So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people here that are younger than me. They will outlive me. I don't know that the younger people than me, like the Jake Bellevances of the world, the Luc Lafrenières of the world, I don't know that they'll still be here.
I don't think I'm going to outlive you
for that long. That's fair. That's an inside joke.
It is. Yeah.
Anyway,
we're not explaining that.
The point is, I do think it matters. So for my goal, it matters a lot. As for your question, framework, LTT branded framework accessories, any business decision has to be like, starts with a Venn diagram. Like it's so simple. We learn it in grade 2, grade 3, or whatever it is, but it's such an important life skill. Anytime I do anything, I basically start drawing a circle, and I try to find, what the necessary circles are that will land on the person who is interested in that service or that product or that piece of content. And I talk, honestly, even not this week because I was on vacation, but last week, I probably had a Venn diagram conversation with 2 separate writers, whether it's pitching a video concept or whether it's, during the script, a paragraph that they've written where I've gone, okay, this paragraph is relevant to people who are super into Linux, people who get this joke you've made, and people who, have been keeping up with the current events that this like news thing that you alluded to. So you've got these circles and you've got this tiny little intersection. You've got small circles with the tiny intersection, and basically it doesn't land unless all of these stars align. You wrote this joke for yourself. Take it out.
Yeah.
Like those kinds of conversations. They're tough conversations, but it's a really important training exercise so that you don't just spin your wheels producing products or creating content that nobody actually wants to consume, right? And so I feel like the LTT-themed framework accessories fall there. No offense to Framework, love their mission, invested in the company, right? But their market share in the laptop space it's not a circle, it's a dot, And so we need that dot to overlap with LTT viewers, right? We need the subset of LTT viewers that will actually buy anything LTT branded, that want to rep the brand. They have to actually have bought a Framework laptop, right? So you got people interested in Framework, people interested in LTT, people who actually bought a Framework, and people who are willing to buy something from LTT. You're asking for so many stars to align. I just don't think it's feasible. There's minimum order quantities, right? Like if it was some 3D printed thing that we could throw up on Thingiverse or something, or I think Thingiverse ran afoul of like the creator community or something.
I don't know.
Don't quote me on that. But whatever the trendy place to throw up 3D printing files, right? Sure, yeah, that's fine. But if we're talking a mass production product where you have to make 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 of them, I just don't think it's feasible.
There's also, I think within the kind of whole idea of Framework and things that we have promoted in the past, try to go to like a hobby space and laser cut your own vinyl. Yeah, sweet. I did it. My laptop has a purple dbrand skin on it, and then I was talking about wanting to do it, and then someone sent them to me better than I would have made, which was fantastic.
Nice.
And it's a haunter. There's eyes in the mouth, and it goes on the purple, and it looks like haunter, and it's amazing. Looks super cool. Still there. Still holding up really well. Yeah, it's great.
Question for both of you.
This is good, but it's a really wimpy amount of chicken.
Yeah, you were talking about how there's gonna be way too much chicken, but those are all fake photos.
Yeah, like this is like nothing. There's like no chicken.
There's
in
actually
here.
very little chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, I'm disappointed in the amount of chicken. I need more dead bird.
Nando's, reach out. We want the sponsorship. Change our minds.
Yeah, we'll make a whole segment or something.
Question from Jay for the both of you. Do you have any games on your phone?
Yes.
What?
I do. Orna. I've talked about it on the show before. It's a I don't know what to call the category. Map game, GPS game, whatever, but it's
Sure.
like a Pokemon
Yep.
Go. What I really like about it,
Pokemon Go alike.
yeah, sure. What I really like about it is I think you know the story of Pokemon, my thing with Pokemon Go. It
Yeah.
launched, I didn't look into it. I went on a hike because I wanted to get a Geodude,
For sure.
and there's no Pokemon on the mountain because
Yep.
they want you to funnel into these Pokestops. Orna's not like that at all. Orna will actually detect, like, hey, there's a forest here. We're going to make it a forest biome. There will be more forest things. Same thing for water, stuff like that. So it has significantly more stuff built into it that encourages you to get out there and move around and
Right.
go on hikes and go off-road and do those types of things, which I think is very cool. So I've been enjoying it. It is a mobile game. There are some pay to make your gameplay more successful. I wouldn't necessarily say win.
Is
But
there a win?
you'll get more. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. You get more loot and stuff, though, so you could perform better with the amount of gameplay time that you invest, which I kind of do see as a form of pay to win. But yeah, Orna's sweet. I enjoy it. It encourages me to go outside.
I have some games.
I get quests all the time, like go walk 2,000 meters, and I'm like, cool.
I have checkers free chess. It's
I
just
also have chess.
it's a nice little time killer with the kids. I have dress coloring. Sometimes the girls like to sit and play with my phone.
Sure.
I have Minecraft on here. Apparently, I've never opened it. I don't know why that's on here.
Yeah, I have Lee Chess and chess.com. I don't know why I didn't think of those. I use those all the time.
Text Twist 2. That's just like a comfort food game. Yvonne and I like to play together. I have Retro Arch on here. Unicorn Color Book Glitter. That's also for the girls. And that's it. That's it for the games on my phone. I'm not really a big mobile gamer anymore. I used to play more mobile games back when they were just actually like simpler. In a way, they've kind of gotten too complicated for me. Like, I'm not going to sit down with the intention of playing a game for an hour on my phone. Like when it was like
Completely
Pappy
agree.
Jump. Like, yeah, I'm on
Yeah,
the I'm on
Flappy
the
Bird.
can.
Stuff
Yeah,
like
that sort
Flappy
of thing.
Bird. That
Yeah.
era of games was like, that's all I wanted, for sure. Yeah, agreed.
Here's some Bell lore to give them some more time to eat. I love mobile games. I play a lot, but I prefer the ones that you can just buy and be done.
100%.
So without explaining, here's a bunch of ones you should check out. Hold Down, Downwell, Slay the Spire.
Wait, Slay the Spire's on your phone now?
Oh, I play it so much on the phone. It's perfect for the phone because you can just like click it
no.
and it saves your spot and you can move on with your life and go back and keep
Oh,
playing.
no.
So I have many hours in that. Loop Hero, also on the phone. Also plays great on the phone. A Dark Room. The one I'm going to explain so they have more time. Play Downwell. It's just go down the hole and try not to die. It'll cost you like $5, but it's great.
Cool.
Next question here from Bearded McCabe.
Yep.
How did your mini split system heat your previous house in the northern climate? Did it keep up with the cold?
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, it's been great. It's perfect.
Next one here. You guys tweeted out a while ago. This question's from Brandon, by the way, that
You're
looking
muted.
for the next big thing. I shouldn't be.
No, chat saying you were. That's probably old. So you
Classic
probably used
chat.
to be.
Classic chat. Always such pranksters. We tweeted out, what should we make next now that we have the backpack and screwdriver out? Was there anything that you read that you were like, actually, this is a good idea or something we should consider?
There's definitely some good ideas that I saw. I saw someone posted that we should do a glow-in-the-dark screwdriver. I messaged that to Nick, who said apparently it was already on the list, and then Yvonne said that she had suggested it at some point. So apparently it was already
Oh, wow.
on the, random future ideas list. I'd say some of the most obvious ones are a smaller version of the backpack. Get a lot of people asking for that.
Yeah. RGB screwdriver?
That I don't think we have planned anytime soon.
Smaller version of the backpack, though, maybe costed down as well.
Yeah, I think people might end up disappointed at how little it ends up affecting the cost, because most of the cost is in the construction, not the raw materials. And the construction is really complicated. It's a really complex bag to manufacture. That's a big part of why it costs so much. I saw a really interesting post breaking down how much we've made on Backpack and Screwdriver on Reddit.
There's no way that's accurate.
It was not accurate. Our costs, so I just want to make it really clear. It estimated our costs at 25% of our retail price. That is not even close on either backpack or screwdriver. Our costs are substantially higher than that on both of them, because materials, construction, logistics, they all cost a lot of money. More than you think. They're profitable. We're making money. It's good. It's good business. But it's not, we're not making, what would that work out to? Like 400 points on them? That's not happening. Other stuff. I mean, yeah, we'd love to do more variants of the screwdriver.
There's an email from you that I need to respond to. I've been mulling it over. I think super no, like aggressively no.
Oh, wait, what did I say? Is this not?
It was about buying up a certain company.
Buying a company?
That is making a thing that I theoretically wanted at one point in time.
Oh, we should just talk about it.
No, we should not buy
I pitched to Luke. I was like, hey, we have officially launched more tools than the Colebar hammer company. Maybe we should just offer to buy them and finally push it over the finish line.
No. For a wide variety of reasons, I think no.
I'd love to hear more about your reasons.
It has taken this long. What do you think the state of the project's in?
I don't know.
If you buy the company, do you buy their debt?
I don't know. Maybe, but do you make the Colebar hammer? And do you make that debt back? Let's go!
Do you want to make the Colebar hammer? Would you be better off just sicking Kyle or whoever else on ice? It makes no sense. But let's say you even wanted to make a hammer. I think you'd be better off just having him design a hammer instead of just buying out this, probably at this point in time, not even good design for a hammer. And like, it tries to do way too many things. If all you had it do was be able to break into a crowbar and also be a hammer, and that was it, and just limited the other stuff, he could probably make one that was way better.
I have some bad news, Luke.
What?
Top message. Or I should call it top keckage. From Nick Light. Not gonna lie, I thought about the Colebar idea a month or so ago. I think it's hilarious, and I'm down.
How many people are even gonna get the joke?
It hasn't have to be a joke. Maybe we can actually make it good.
Why would you want to make what relevant? Okay,
backpack. You bought it. You bought it.
I get it. I didn't buy it for me. I have a hammer. It's great. It's a hunk of metal that goes up and then goes both directions.
But is it also a pry bar?
And it's great.
And all the other crap it does?
Darn it! I don't think most people are going to get the joke.
It doesn't even have to be a joke. What if it's just good?
I'd buy the Colebar hammer for my dad, says Conrad.
Heck yeah. We can all buy one for our dads.
I was going to say, if we sell a Colebar hammer indirectly to everyone's dad,
then it's fine.
We're doing great.
Great business model. In all seriousness, I do have one that I'm pretty excited about that is very early stages, so who knows if it'll ever even make it across the finish line, but I want to do a battery bank that is kind of Steam Deck style. So don't replace the cells. But also, if you're going to do it, here's how to do it.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
So the idea would be like the last battery bank you'd ever buy.
Yeah.
If it's possible, you know, I'd love to figure out if there's a way for us to make the firmware upgradable so that if, you know, let's say someone like Nintendo who uses USB PD, but in kind of a wonky, different than everyone else way, so your Switch can die if you use a standard power brick, like, you know, that sort of thing, right? So if there's a way for us to firmware update it so that we can account for things like that, obviously bad things might still happen, but if we can continue to tweak it over time, I think that would be a super valuable product. And I think that's one of the big things that we're really going to continue to focus on as we go forward, because that's what's really differentiated Backpack and Screwdriver is we figured out what we wanted to exist and then made it exist, right? Like with something like a t-shirt, I think there's a little less room for innovation, but for something like that, that battery bank, I think absolutely we are identifying something that is a problem and we're fixing it.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
It's been said a million times. It's been thought about. I think it might have even been decided to not do. But if you do socks and if you do sandals, you've literally completed the outfit. You could walk outside respectably. Maybe not respectively. You could walk outside legally wearing entirely LTT clothing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty sick. I understand it's hard to do, but that would be pretty sick. And the amount of people that would buy socks and sandals LTT edition, I think is pretty solid. I think there's a business argument there as well. I need new socks pretty bad. I've been holding out for like years.
The real motivation.
Yeah. I'm being transparent about it. It's time. I have to go buy new socks. So we're not going to hit my time window, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that'd be sweet.
Darn tough. If you guys want to work together, hit me up.
Yeah. Deodorant.
Frankly, we don't make anything. We couldn't make anything strong enough for our audience. Love you guys, but
bare feet is
nerd hygiene.
legal, not everywhere. There are places that you have to have coverings on your feet. I don't know.
Speaking of buying companies, if you could choose another content creator to join the LMG staff, who would it be?
I don't know how to answer this question without it being like
That's
awkward.
tough. I think honestly, I think we skip that.
Do I abstain? How about instead of the one, I could pick like a one that I'd love to work with?
All
or
of
like
them.
A few.
We would love to work with everyone.
I mean, it's tough. You know, it's tough because just because I really like someone and respect them as a content creator and would love to work with them every day doesn't mean I think they should be acquired. Right? Like let's take someone we talked about last week. Okay, Sarah Dici, right? She has a totally different perspective on tech. She
There's no reason to do that.
Yeah,
Doing
right.
great on her own.
Exactly. She's doing great on her own. She's probably more valuable to the greater community as an indie. Why, like, what if all we wanted to do was, you know, make sure that she had, let's say she hadn't just killed it on her Lab 22 launch or whatever else. So let's say that she was struggling in some way or something. If all we wanted to do was make sure she had like consistent income or something like that. Well, like, what are we getting out of it? So presumably we expect profit at some point. So if that's our motivation, well, what are we going to do to squeeze her publication for more profit? Is that even going to provide any kind of service to her viewers? It has to be a win-win-win, right? It has to be a win for us, a win for her, and a win for the audience. And if it's not a win-win-win, then it doesn't make sense. And I can't think of too many that would fit in that category.
Yeah, it's tough. That's really tough. Because I mean, you see what was it, MCNs? You see what MCNs did to people.
Yeah, just extract value.
You don't want to be an MCN. That's stupid, lame, and annoying. And no one likes you and you're dumb. So like Linus said, there has to be value in both directions. There has to be something that's truly beneficial for them. And we could get them editors and videographers and stuff like that. But a lot of these creators already have solutions for that. Some creators actually are unwilling to give up the creative control of editing, so want to do it themselves, which is respectable. That's an approach, whatever. I'm not making any judgment on that, but like some people wouldn't even want those benefits is what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know. It's really tough. There's a lot of people that I would like love to work with more closely because I think it would be freaking awesome. But I don't think that would necessarily be better for anyone other than it just being like cool.
Question here from Jay. Do you think we'll ever see RAM slots on GPUs for choosing how much RAM you want?
Nope.
Never.
Should we explain in more detail or just leave it there? All right, we'll explain in more detail. What's the trend you see in terms of RAM's physical proximity to processing power? Let's look at Apple's M1 processor, where they've actually got the RAM right on the package, closer. GPUs were one of the first consumer devices in your system that brought the RAM off of an installable module that's just out of necessity quite physically distant from the processor and from the memory controller, and put it right on the board, soldered to the board right next to the processor. Why? Because GPUs needed mondo memory bandwidth in order to move texture data and other game assets back and forth. So what you're never going to see then, and look at the highest performance, I don't know what that was. Look at the highest performance GPUs today. They actually bring the memory even closer with HBM. So those, because the traces are so short, are much easier to run at much higher frequencies. And so the last thing you're going to see the GPU industry do is trend back the other way to modules. Like, not only are they physically more distant, but anytime you have an interface like that, like a slot, like a socket and a pin interface or anything like that, you're going to have some loss. And that loss is bad for signal integrity, which is bad for, you guessed it, higher switching speeds, which is bad for bandwidth. So it's never going to happen.
I'm pretty sure it did happen way in the past as well. And it's not done anymore, which doesn't always mean a lot, but in this case, I think it does.
We got a food question here. Luke and Linus, what was the most memorable meal of your life?
Easy. I have an answer for this that is easy, and I'll lock it in. Do you want to go first?
No, I hit me.
I think it might even be the same because you were there.
Oh, was it the first dinner, or the first LMG dinner? Oh, different one.
Darn it.
Because that was pretty memorable. We had that like truffle and stuff. Like, it was a whole.
No, I'm not really sure.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah, that was kind of
the
a big
first
deal.
LMG Christmas party was not really a Christmas party, and
It was awesome though.
we could to put it in perspective, our first meal when we landed in Las Vegas that first year was chicken nuggets because they were cheap.
Dude, we got a whole table of chicken nuggets though. We balled out on chicken nuggets.
We had no money, but to celebrate the success of our CES trip and the connections we'd made and the sponsorships that we had started conversations about and all that good stuff, we went out for one nice dinner. And I was like, maybe we'll make this a tradition. That tradition has since become the annual Christmas party. But when it started, it was just me, Ed, Luke, and Brandon, and Luke's friend. And we kind of, for us, went kind of wild in terms of ordering.
It felt pretty nuts. I remember like being worried about the company's books because
we got like a $50
dinner.
fried rice.
I remember
had, like, truffle in
specifically
it.
that fried rice. That was as much as I remember that fried rice, the food itself was
not great.
Yeah, I didn't care like at all. That was a big moment in like my life, but the meal isn't what made that memorable. So I think
that's fair. Like, I wouldn't have picked my wedding just because it was about the wedding. It
Yeah.
wasn't about the meal.
Yeah.
So, okay,
So that's the reason why I think my brain didn't go there. My brain went to a different dinner that you
To
were also at.
Japan.
Yes. Yeah. We stayed at this. It was a hotel in Japan that was like, what, it's like 1,000 years old or some crazy. Like I remember hearing that and being like, no way. And then I looked into it and it's like, yep, that's true. It was at a hot spring. It was just amazing. We had a meal at the hotel in this like big open room. There was like 3 waitresses for like what was it, like 12 of us that were there or something. Crazy. 1 chef for just us. I still have it's still on my fridge. It will always be on my fridge. I still have it's not a menu. It's like the order that the dishes come in.
Yep.
I can't read it because it's in Japanese, but that was an incredible meal. I don't know. And it does have the other components, and it's probably cheating because of that, to be fair. Because that was also a pretty big moment for us. The people that were there were awesome. There was a lot of other things going on, but the meal itself, like, oh man, how many? It was like some insane number
many
of courses, like over 12, I think.
And chicken sashimi is definitely the most adventurous thing I've eaten.
You ate it too? Yeah, I didn't remember if you did.
Yeah, I remember both of us tried it,
Yeah.
and then cooked the rest of our chicken
Yeah,
in our
which
broth.
they were not a huge fan of, but it is what it is. But yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
That was for the Omron factory
What
tour.
videos tied to that trip? Yeah. Omron, there's also a WAN show, which is probably one of the more unique WAN shows we ever did.
Ed was passed out drunk behind the camera. Like, it's a miracle. He managed to get the camera pointed in the right direction before he fell asleep on the stairs.
The stuff he has been able to accomplish when needed to is impressive.
Absolute
man.
unit.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay.
Speaking of travel, Tomas asks if there's a country or place that you've always wanted to visit but haven't had the chance to.
I want to go to Australia or New Zealand. I heard that's the place to be when the apocalypse comes.
What? Because they're already like trained in dealing with it.
No, it's because there's nothing of real strategic value. It's far enough away from
Minerals.
everything that is of strategic value that the fallout won't really get there. And it's like temperate and like pretty developed world in terms of infrastructure and like standard of living. Relatively self-sufficient.
I know New Zealand is checking a lot of those boxes specifically.
Yep.
Those are definitely up there. A lot of the places that I really wanted to go, I have gone to. So that knocks off a bunch of stuff, to be honest. I would really like to go back to Japan. I barely even count our trip there as like actually being in Japan. We were there for like less than 24 hours, weren't we? And we slept. So like it was a very short period of time. I think I'm going to cop out and say Japan because I don't really count being there for literally less than 24 hours as really being in Japan. Even though I literally just mentioned one of my favorite dinners being there.
I found out why this was 600 calories. Look at the disgusting amount of sauce in it.
Oh,
Yeah, like I can only eat half of this
I
because
can-
it's not completely saturated in mayonnaise.
it's got
water.
quite the aroma.
Yeah. We've got this like hummus thing though.
Scrapyard Wars with hardware unboxed in Australia. Yeah, I mean, we've said all the unfortunate reasons why Scrapyard Wars like isn't
Yeah,
so
it's
much of a
dead.
thing
Sorry,
anymore.
guys.
Yeah.
Question here from Mike. My kids love my LTT water bottle.
That's not really a question.
Would you consider making a smaller one for kids, maybe with artwork from the ABCs of gaming?
Yes. We're already working on a smaller one. We hadn't thought of putting ABCs of gaming characters on it yet, but good idea.
Yeah, I get a lot of comments and merge message about people loving the ABCs of gaming, so that would be cool.
I think it's because I specifically mentioned during the Screwdriver stream that I read every review. Some people have left some really sweet reviews over the last few days. Thank you very much. It was a labor of love, so yeah, really appreciate it.
Next one here is from Elliot. Linus, you've talked about your disdain of closed ecosystems and smart homes many times on the show, but you've also said you're super down for a biometric implant. Are you less concerned about biotech when compared to all this closed ecosystems?
Well, I wouldn't go for a closed ecosystem biotech implant.
Yeah, there's a lot of caveats there. The biometric implants that we're talking about are quite simple.
Yeah, like an NFC
Yeah.
thing that I can just program to just like spit out, you know, a bunch of characters when I scan a thing, right? Like I'm talking really, really, really basic stuff right now.
Yeah, very user controllable type of stuff.
From Joshua, how did you navigate the transition from a small to medium-sized business? I'm working for a small company for the first time and we're rapidly growing. Any tips would be great.
Hire a PR person. And then don't ignore them.
There we go.
In all seriousness, though, I mean, you just got to keep iterating, right? Just keep learning as you go. I'm not a business, I'm not like a business guru type person. I don't read a lot of business books. When I read them, what I usually discover is that a lot of what I find in them is stuff that I did figure out along the way. Maybe not exactly the same way. To be clear, I'm not saying I'm some kind of genius. Well, I figured everything out. Like it's not like that at all. But the problems that I've had to solve, I've solved them. So I guess what I'm saying is take time, identify problems, solve them in ways that are scalable for the long term. Don't just solve problems short term. I just don't. I mean, even the way we've moved into our house, like you've seen it. A room goes from absolute chaos to perfection because I just do not have the cycles to do something that I know I'm going to have to do again. It's not worth it to me. And that's one of the things I've learned as we've scaled. And if it's not going to save you time in the future, don't do it.
There's a Floatplane question. Any new secret shoppers in the work? Hold on. I genuinely don't know. I'm not on the team that plans that type of stuff. I cannot actually answer this question. What I will say is you shouldn't even ask. Due to the nature of Secret Shopper, they can't tell you and you don't want to know because you don't want anyone else to know. There you go. Yeah.
Well, Pickles, Lord of the Jar, wants to know. Just a few months back, you were worried about the prospect of your new products not selling well enough. With this recent success, do you feel more confident about launching future high-end merch deployments?
It always depends, right? Like nothing, I can't take anything for granted. I feel like it's one of those things where if you guys just bought it because it had our label on it, I'd be like, have I taught you nothing? You know? So I think that there's a lot of pressure on us to keep making stuff that stands out and will be successful. And I don't really feel any less of that. I don't feel like past success is necessarily an indicator of future success in that particular regard. I think that you probably can carry some momentum forward, but that momentum is short-lived, right? If you guys buy one thing from us where you're like, oh yeah, I heard like LTT has really good quality stuff, but I didn't like this, you're never going to buy anything again. So we kind of have to, we don't have to hit it out of the park every time, but you can never hit less than like a line drive single, to use a baseball metaphor.
Question here from Lucas. Linus, you've talked about VR a lot, but what are your thoughts on AR headsets? Have you tried them like HoloLens, and do you think we'll ever reach mass adoption?
Not with HoloLens.
Have you tried it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
So for me, really, it's not a question of how cool is this technology? What can we do with it? It's a question of what do I want to do? And can this technology do it? For me, the killer app for AR is memory augmentation. I can never remember who people are or like where I know them from.
Yeah, totally.
Or the last thing we talked about or how many kids they have. If I had a contact lens that I could wear that was like, Luke mentioned his bird last time you guys were hanging out was having some health related issues. You should check in with him about that. I don't even think I could put a sticker price on what I would pay for something like that.
I'd pay a lot for something like that.
And I wouldn't be the only person, like in a professional setting. People literally will hire assistants whose entire job it is to follow them around at events and like cross-reference and like provide them with information as people approach. Like that's actually a thing, right? So in a professional setting, I could see something like that being invaluable. But I don't know, man. Maybe navigation, like a really slick AR implementation.
Navigation and a facial recognition thing that can tell me who people are.
Yeah.
And maybe some basic information would be fantastic. I will remember so many details about someone and not their name and not their birthday. But I'll remember like lots of things about them. I'll be able to jump back into a conversation, and as long as they don't expect me to say their name or remember their birthday, I'll do great. But yeah.
Nighttime Astronaut asks, given the importance of the WAN show now in terms of LMG's contact with the community and consumers, should Bell be given a substantial pay increase and maybe some kind of crown or cape to denote his incredible role?
I like the crown and cape.
I like the crown and cape, but see, the reason I brought up this comment is because I see comments like this a lot. You know, Kyle did a great job in this video, he should get a raise. Or this person did this, they should get a raise. That is not how it works at all.
What do you mean?
That's not how it works.
What do you mean?
First of all, you're assuming that they're not already paid fairly. Second of all, guys, the people who are in front of the camera are a small fraction of the people who work here. You don't just give the person who gets the screen time the raise. We have dozens of other people that supported that made whatever it is that Bell or Kyle or I am doing possible, who also need to be paid fairly. If we just gave raises to people every time they did anything of value that was public facing, our pay scale would be fucked. Like a mess. No, that's not how it works. As much as I appreciate the sentiment when people will say, man, Anthony did a great job of this video, he should get a raise. It's just not how it works. I'm sorry. No offense, Bell. You know, you're great. You know, Heart.
They wouldn't even see the cape and the crown.
The crown
I could be
and
wearing
cape,
it.
though.
Yeah.
But
crown and cape, I'm down for.
yeah.
Okay, you've got a $40 crown and cape budget.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah, just let logistics know. They can source something for you, all right?
Dude, you could
Heck
just get a BK crown for free and then get a sweet
Epic
$40 cape.
That's exactly the plan.
Yeah. Nice.
And we'll get you guys a bell cam. So when we're doing merch messages, we can just put him like in the middle here. So we'll just get like a face cam for him. We down? We good?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
get a really old one, so it looks like an old 90s
Nice.
MSN.
All right, let's
webcam.
do it.
Nice.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Question here from Cameron. Do you have any thoughts on the GDP Win 3? There's been a lot of comparisons, but I'd love to know your thoughts.
We checked out the GPT Win Max 2 recently, but the Win 3. Oh, you know what? No, I haven't really looked into this one yet. Sorry. Nope, not yet. Someday, soon. Looks sick though. Yeah.
Another
Wait, the
AR
old one.
thing?
Oh no, this is the old one. GPT Win 3. No, this one's old. Yeah, it's cool, but it's a little older. The slide out keyboard doesn't have a ton of value for me. I'll say that.
Another AR thing is I would love a really fancy calendar/alarm app where I can signify when like something is unmissable. And by unmissable, I mean like blast my face with it. Like make it so that because it's literally covering my eyes. It's like impossible to not at least respond in some way to it. Like do not let this notification not come in, basically. That would be great.
Honestly, that could be solved with just
Oh yeah, it totally could.
being able to set a persistent ringer on reminders, like an alarm. Like, hey, anyone from the Android team, if you're watching, can that just be a feature next time around so that you can set a different alarm style, like a looping alarm style on reminders and on calendar notifications? That would be just a game changer for me.
That'd be sweet.
Like, I actually need to go to this meeting. Do not
and
stop until I acknowledge that I am at the meeting.
it would be cool if you could do a like I am there thing, because there's also times where you're like, oh, I get a notification. Okay, cool. I know I have to do this thing. And then you just get blasted by some like huge something's on fire problem that
Yep.
you need to immediately solve. and then you need to remember to go back to that meeting. But once the thing is not on fire anymore, you forget about the notification.
While we're at it, it would be great if in the calendar app, I could set what my default reminder schedule is, because I always have to go in and manually say, hey, I need to know the day before, I need to know the hour before, and I need to know the amount of time it takes for me to get there before, because otherwise I won't go.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Question we have here from a lot of people. What are your thoughts about the person winning an art contest with an AI-generated piece of art?
As someone who doesn't really get art, but who can certainly appreciate seeing something I like, and values the work that goes into it, I guess I'm excited for being able to just like, for the cost of getting a print done, decorate my house, which I think is super cool. I see it as a potential danger to the craft, though, of art over time. So while it's pretty easy for me to say, okay, I saw someone tweet at me a portrait of Linus Sebastian in the style of Rembrandt, right? And they looked awesome. If I wanted a portrait of myself in the style of Rembrandt, I guess I could put that up. I don't, but what's going to be the style then? What will be the future styles that we can plug into our AI generator? With that said, maybe it's a totally invalid concern. People create art just because they wish to create art. And the value of something created by a person doesn't seem to be tied to the number of hours they spent on it, the ease with which it could be replicated by something else. It's about the person. It's about that aura around them, right? We don't pay $100,000 for a painting or whatever else because it looks $90,000 prettier than a $10,000 painting. That's just like not how it works. It's about who you know, and it's about connections, and it's about notoriety. And so I don't think that an AI artist, I think that it could absolutely take out a lot of commodity art, but I don't think it's going to take out like high-end art, like boutique art, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, like hide your money from taxes art. Won't take that
Well,
out.
it's a whole separate conversation.
Yeah.
Question.
Oh, for me on the art thing, I think it's just completely down to whoever's hosting the contest. Do you allow it or do you not? It's like the same thing with speedruns, right? Tool-assisted speedruns, task speedruns. They have their own category. You could have an art contest for AI-generated art, whatever. I think it's down to the contest. I don't think I'm going to say the same as Linus, so I'm not in that space. I'm very far from being an artist.
Yeah,
So.
Eshwi Lu over on Twitch says, AI art only looks good. As a professional artist, you need to be able to thoroughly explain your context to be taken seriously.
Sure.
But yeah, it's fair enough. I don't give two shits about any of that. But
I suspect AI artists could also start working with GPT-3 and have it write a blurb that goes along with the art and explain why it's cool. If you think that's a limitation now, I'll see you in 2 years.
But either way, I think it's always going to be a different space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like smartphones put cameras and put video recorders in the pockets of everybody, and that doesn't make it so that you don't still need like filmmakers, right? Like it's.
Yeah, what we also see is that you can sell prompts for the AIs to generate stuff, which I think is so interesting. It's like this guy who was in the art contest was like, I will share what my prompt was to get this art later, and like is trying to sell this prompt to get the art that he had made that won. So very interesting future.
I mean, it's a kind of IP, I guess.
Yeah. It's like if you're really good at configuring the machine, that has a value. So sure. Yeah. I'm just very surprised, but it makes sense. Similar things have been done in the past.
Question from Micah. What's your favorite part about running a YouTube channel / YouTube media company?
I don't know what's not to like. It's the coolest job ever. Thank you. Best part. I don't know. It's nice that someone listens, feeling like part of a community. I mean, we're social creatures, right? Like we all are sort of fundamentally drawn to a lot of the same things. Turning what you would have done every day anyway into work is a bit of a double-edged sword. I'd say it's the best and one of the worst things about it, but it's definitely one of the best, even if it might also be one of the worst. Yeah, there's a lot to love.
That's it for merch messages.
That's it. Oh, well then I guess that's it for the show.
Pretty good timing.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in this week. We'll see you again next week. Same bad time, same bad